Welcome to Victoria County Podcast. Your host is Tom Wilson. Today's guest is Edward Wedler, chairman of the Ride the Lobster Racing Society. Ride the Lobster is the world's longest unicycle race, 800 kilometers from Yarmouth to Quebec, Nova Scotia. The race was held from June 16 to the 20th. Edward, it's been 18 months when the idea of Ride the Lobster started, and today is the day after the 5-day international race has been completed. What are some of your thoughts now?
Well, that was 2 years ago when the seed came through Unicycle Max. And when I approached Andy and Carter and Nathan Hoover about this event, two renowned unicyclists, I really didn't have an idea how big this community was. It's a niche community, but it's big worldwide. I was delighted, so I had no idea at the start. The way it worked out was we had to put a cap on the number of teams that came to this event. We capped it at 35. Andy and Nathan figured we could have doubled it to 70. And so that bodes well for any future Ride the Lobster number 2. I think the event turned out fantastically, beyond my expectations, particularly the school children and the communities along the route. That was marvelous. That really made it like the Tour de France for me, the Tour de France for unicyclists.
That was one of the things that I noticed just in my one-day experience with Cape Breton was that the communities and the school children didn't really know what to expect first, but when the demo teams come in and then they saw the racers go by, they said, wow, I was part of this really unique experience. So I'm glad I was here today.
Yeah, I think, and I met a young elementary school girl in New Germany, and she pointed out to one of the riders and she said, I want to do that when I grow up. I want to do that. And I think that's fantastic. And in Japan, they do unicycling in the elementary schools as part of their health program. So that's since the 1980s. So I think that's great when you hear comments like that.
I know the weather didn't cooperate so much in terms of the event, but it didn't really damper the racers' spirits.
No, actually, I have the honor, I guess, of canceling a race if needed, and I thought the weather was going to be a real problem, particularly stage 2. So I went to a few of the riders as they were going along, and they just loved it, and I was shocked. So the wetter the better, I guess, for them.
At the award ceremony today, I was really impressed by the camaraderie of riders and how much they really were part of a whole unique event. Did you get that impression?
Yeah, I think a lot of these people had emailed each other, and that's as far as they knew. They were long-distance communicators, and this is the first time that they've been brought together as a single unit. Some of the teams that never even raced together, let alone knowing each other. So you would have Team Manly Legs, for example. They had representation from British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Newfoundland. They come to Nova Scotia to be part of a team. So it was a community that I really felt strong about. That really came across as well to me.
I guess, too, it's always nice to see how the rest of the world thinks about Nova Scotia, and certainly it was a nice feeling to see all those different countries want to come and race in Nova Scotia.
Tom, that's exactly what I wanted. To me, bringing Nova Scotia to the world and the world to Nova Scotia, to me, was more important than anything I could imagine. And I think they've all left with really good, fond memories of Nova Scotia. They will tell their friends, they will tell their parents and relatives, and to come back to Nova Scotia. And I'll welcome them with open arms, and I'm sure the rest of Nova Scotia will as well.
The Brytech company that introduced the GPS for the riders, that was quite a unique concept. How did that work out for you?
I think it was fantastic. I checked my emails when I was in Antigonish, and I got emails from the Scripps Institute of Oceanography out in California. I got from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, from swimmers that are going to challenge themselves by swimming the Northumberland Straits. They're having a GPS receiver. That team was incredible, and I think the format of the race and use of GPS, not only is it unique for the unicycling, it may be even unique according to Chris Holm, who's the Wayne Gretzky of unicycling. According to Chris Holm, it would be unique even in the cycling community. So I think Brytech have done an amazing job in this race.
Yes, I enjoyed reading that. In fact, the last day of the finish, we were wondering how many teams were left, and I went back into my office and went on my laptop and said, oh, there's just 5 or 6 more teams to finish, and then we'll be okay.
Yeah, it was amazing how accurate they were. I was at the finish line, and they said, oh, Team Centurions are just around the corner, and sure enough, within 2 minutes, in comes Team Centurion. It was like that all the time.
It must have been nice to have the world record holder, Sam Wakeling, and the chap from New Zealand who used to hold the world record to come to this race.
Well, I think particularly in Cape Breton at the Gaelic College, because there is a strong connection between New Zealand and the Gaelic College, the Waipu Society, and I'm sure that they're going to visit the Waipu Museum and bring back stories to New Zealand. And I think that's what I want people to go away with, is that from a distance like New Zealand and like Wales, to tell stories about what their experience was in Nova Scotia.
You had an amazing team for operations, and I'm sure you would say amazing team of volunteers in all the communities. Anything you'd like to say about your team?
I think I couldn't say enough about it. There's no words that can express how much work they put in. It was a lean, mean fighting machine, and they put in a marvelous job. I think in a future event, that's my focus will be on getting even more volunteers, and I think I will, particularly along the communities. People will want to say, how do I sign up to be a volunteer? But the team we had was marvelous.
Well, I just want to congratulate you on a great event. I certainly have enjoyed the last 2 days, the award ceremony today, as well as the 2 demos that I was at and the finish line. And thanks again for allowing Cape Breton the opportunity to be part of this event.
In some ways, you make me feel embarrassed by saying thank you. I thank you. Thank you very much, Tom.
Great.